Hey, y'all. Hey, we're here live. I have Jasna and Liv here, and they're going to talk a little bit about, what it's like on the field to be married or single. They've got some things to tell you. We're live, and you can quote me on this. And so, ladies, remember, they're going to be quoting you on whatever it is you have to say. So let's begin with the introductions. Baby, we're back. Jasna, introduce yourself.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Jasna, and I am married to my wonderful husband, Derek. I've been married for 6 years now, and I have been with my husband for about 12 years now. So that's me in a nutshell.
Nut being
Everyone,
operative.
I'm Liv.
Hey, Liv.
How are you?
Okay.
So I'm Liv. I'm single. I've never been engaged or married, and that's me in a nutshell.
And so let's just chop this up a bit because marriage is not easy and single sometimes is great. Liv, tell me how you feel about that. You said you've never been engaged and you've never been married. I need you to stick your chest out when you say that and put a smile on your face because there are many people across America, based on statistics, not what I think, who actually enjoy being single. Tell us where you are in that. And please, before we go any further, I'd like to shout out the Ingram Kingdom Mobile Kitchen,
Yes.
the husband and wife team, Derek and Jasna. I'd also like to shout out the Sisters Seafood as well. Sister Seasonings, Lenore Lilies. I got business women on my hands, y'all, and I love it. And so, before we get started, I want to remind you guys to hydrate. So let's hydrate as we move through this podcast to ensure that your voices are smooth and silky. Come on, Liv. What is it like out there?
So being single, sometimes it's great, but sometimes you get lonely. Sometimes you get lonely. Sometimes you're looking for, you're missing that companionship. Um, you're missing having that partner. Single on the other side, you're able to do whatever you want to do. You can live by your own rules, and that's cool and all. But it gets a little boring at times and a little lonely.
A little lonely and a little
It gets
boring.
lonely. It does.
Okay. So there's a lot of talk about the dating pool being polluted. What are your thoughts on that?
What do you mean?
Polluted as in there's a lot of junk out
A
there?
lot of junk. I meet a lot of good guys.
I want to hear that.
So I do meet a lot of good guys. Sometimes it does not work out, but I can say that I do meet decent men out here. So I'm not one of those women who feel like there's no good men out here. I don't feel that way.
That's good to hear because there's over 8 billion people on this earth, and somewhere, somehow, there's some good guys.
That's right.
I'm single and I've met a few myself. Chestnut,
Yes.
married, 6 years, and you're still smiling. Tell us about it.
Yes. So marriage to me just it means more than what society thinks that marriage means. I think that a lot of times, um, women especially, they just want the title of marriage, right? And they don't know what that means. But for me, marriage means more than a partnership or your husband, your wife. It means that you need to have a solid foundation in a friendship. So my husband and I, we're literally like the same person, just a different sex, male and female. And I think a lot of times people think that that doesn't work, but with our case, it does work. And I don't know if it's because, my husband is 10 years my senior and he's, a lot more mature or what have you. But it just means a lot more than what society has come to. I think that marriage right now to a lot of people is a joke. It's a 1 day thing. You get for your wedding, you get married and you think that that's it. And that's all it's going to be. And you don't have to fight for it or you haven't built that solid foundation. And in my opinion, I think that's where a lot of marriages fail. They go into it for the wrong reasons. So I encourage my friends, and I don't give relationship advice because every relationship is different. I just give my opinion. But with my friends, I do not encourage, jumping into a marriage when they haven't built a solid foundation. So that's important.
So a solid foundation looks like a lot of stuff. And I have a young man on the line here. He's in the podcast. I'm going to invite him if he's available to join us. It's Josh Waring. And Josh said to Ingram Kingdom Mobile Kitchen, shout out to Jazz and D. He also said
Hey,
some
Josh.
food. Yeah, and it looks like, I'm going to try to figure this out, Josh. Now, correct me. It says, it looks like hot live summer is coming to an end. I'm not sure I understand that. Or
Hot live summer.
live, hot, it looks like hot live summer is coming to an end. What is hot live summer?
So I'm going to take a stab at what he's trying to say. I think what he means is maybe hot live summer in like a connotation of hot girl summer or whatever that is.
Or maybe he's on his way to marriage.
Yeah, maybe.
Shout out, Chloe. Come on.
Possibly.
Josh.
So I don't encourage people, male or female. Of course, my friends, I give advice, but I'm not their parent. I'm a no judgment zone when it comes to my friends. So and she could vouch for that. But I don't rush neither a relationship or a marriage, even though I'm happily married. Um, it's the foundation for me. So if you're going into like a serious relationship or Josh, if you are proposing to your, girlfriend or whatever the case is, then you have that friendship first because the friendship is going to get you through the hard times in marriage, right? So a lot of times it's like, oh yeah, we're going to argue, we're going to do this, that, and the third. Yeah, we are going to do that, but in those tumultuous times where a lot of people think don't exist, they do exist. There's no such thing as a perfect marriage, but there is a such thing as a happily marriage. So, but there's a lot that goes into that. And I think that if you do not have that solid foundation, then, you know, you're up the creek.
Liv,
Yes.
tell us what, no names, your last dating experience was like as a single woman.
My last, oof. My last or my current? My last.
Do your last and then
Whatever you choose.
So I'm a dater. Let's get that out here. I'm a dater.
Are you a serial dater?
I am a serial dater. I am.
Okay, I
And
like
don't think
that. I
it's
like
not
that.
a bad thing.
No, it's not.
I'm 34. I'm a mother. I'm hardworking.
a great mother.
I don't have time to waste. I don't really have the capacity to entertain multiple men at one time. Some women are able to do it, but me, I really don't have the time for it. So I like to do it one by one. And I'm just trying to, try different things, step out of my comfort zone. My last dating experience was with someone I tried it again with someone from about 8 years ago. And he seemed like he was a different person. He did everything in the beginning that I would want him to do. And I hate when you're newly dating someone, they ask you, what do you require? Or, what are some of the things that you're looking for in a relationship? Only because sometimes people look at that as a blueprint and they try to do everything that you want them to do in order to win you over. I don't want you to do that with me. I want you to be yourself 100%, and that's it. I do believe within 90 days you can see a lot about a person. You may not see everything, but I do believe that you see a lot. And the person I was dating, it went kind of fast because it went fast only because he put a title on it as a boyfriend and girlfriend. So that was new for me because I'm not typically that type of person. I usually take my time and I slow walk things. But I tried something different. It was nothing different, but just a title. Everything still, moved the same way it would have if we did not have that title. But it didn't turn out well. Like, he was a nice guy. He did treat me well, but I felt like he did have some issues that I wasn't able or willing to deal with him. I wasn't able to make those sacrifices with him.
Okay. And that's honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's honest because right from the start, you said there are some good men out here. And I think that that's, a really, really true statement. It's true. Dating can be difficult because you said some important things. You talked about 90 days, you get to see who they are. So, a lot of what's happening out here now is sex and heads in beds before people get to know who they are, what they act like. They don't know their family. There are people who don't know the last names of the people that they're dating and sleeping with. And I find that incredible. So it's good to hear that you take your time. What advice would you offer for young women?
Don't settle.
Yeah.
Don't settle.
Never.
Some may say my standards are too high, but I'm not settling. I believe I deserve the world.
When people tell you your standards are too high, tell them thank you. You can always go somewhere else and find less. Jasna,
I agree.
I know that's right.
what about marriage? What would you offer a young married couple? As somebody who's been married for 6 years, what would you offer a young married couple?
Hold on. Can I just say Derek and Jasmine are one of my favorite couples. Like, I see the good and the bad. And they do both share the same sign as me. We are all Capricorn. Yes. And I know how I am as
He's
a person.
here.
They are
That's
definitely one of my
that's
favorite
Babe to
couples.
pop his head in for a second so
Come
that they
on,
can
Hey,
see
come
him.
here. Come on.
I appreciate the honorable mention.
He's in the middle of doing something. What would I offer? So,
A young couple who's just getting married, if you had to give them something, like Liv said to the singles, don't settle. What would you give a married couple?
Priorities. Let's talk about
priorities.
Yes. Because he very much so makes sure you're a priority.
Yes.
So you are his number one. You are very much his top priority.
He is.
And I love it. I love it.
Priorities. So, like Liv said, it is important that you put your partner first. I think a lot of things kind of come into the melting pot when it comes to marriage. It may be family, parents, friends, life, whatever that may be. And I think that putting your partner first is important. My husband definitely makes sure that I am a priority. He really doesn't play about me. He makes sure that I'm safe at all costs.
Absolutely.
And I think that is important. But also coinciding with that is communication. So you have to have constant communication throughout your relationship period, whether you're married, girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, whatever the case is. Communication is important because as you expect you to grow, your friends to grow, everyone in your life to grow, your marriage grows as well. And that person grows as well. So you want to make sure that you are communicating. Capricorns tend to be stubborn. We do. But we have to fight through that stubbornness because my husband and I were both Capricorns, like Liv said, and we are very stubborn and we're strong headed. So it is important for you to continuously communicate with your significant other and ask those hard questions. Like, when we talk about what's big in a relationship. So every time it comes up financial and sexual, right? So those are the two big factors in a relationship that people always talk about. And I was watching one of my shows one day, Housewives, or Married to Medicine rather, and they literally had a sexual coach to ask all of the married people in the room, when's the last time you asked your partner what they like, in the bedroom? And they were all looking like ghosts, like, what? We don't literally talk about that, but that's important. Mm-hmm. So what do you like? What do you dislike? What did you like before that you don't like now? And it's the same way with everything else. Financials, yes. That's a big thing. So communicating about your financials, if you have two people who are working, in a relationship, like my husband and I, we're both working professionals, and, finances is important no matter how much money you're making. You have to communicate that. And we like dating, and honestly, I like spending more money than he does. However,
yeah. let me just stop you here for a minute. Deasia says, "Hey, Uncle Derek," and Naya says, "My other child." Naya Brown says, Derek wasn't coming into the podcast. Your cousin Beverly says, super. Natanya says, child, yes, you do. That's in terms of spending money. And Josh says he'd like to have us on his podcast. And we're going to talk about that. And shout out to Chloe because Chloe did something that no other woman could do. Shout out, Chloe. This is the boss here telling you did the thing, girl. Okay, and so go on, Jasna.
That's it in a nutshell. Like, I just feel like, you have to continuously communicate, and communication is hard, and a lot of people don't talk about it. Like, communication is hard, and it's not an easy thing, especially when you feel like you're stuck in your ways and you feel like you're doing something right, but you really aren't doing something right for your partner. And a lot of people just don't talk about it. They don't talk about how hard communication can be. But again, back to my previous point, if you build that foundation with your partner, communication, though hard, it should come, naturally. And it may be hard in that moment, but
as your mate should he should make you comfortable, or she should make you comfortable. It's a partnership. So I think a lot of times people pretend to be people that they're not in these relationships, and they're not themselves.
Come on, bring the noise, girl. Bring the noise.
Be yourself. Be you authentically at all times. You get what I'm saying? Like, I may not like everything about you, and that's fine. You get what I'm saying? That's okay.
That's totally fine.
But don't pretend to be someone you're not. Love my flaws. Love the good and the bad about me.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And so, like, marriage is good. As a senior who's single, what I can tell you is that Liv spoke to my soul when she talked about dating. You're not in a committed relationship until you're in a committed relationship.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there's no point in hooking up and hooking in and locking in. And I think the mistake that a lot of people make. Your cousin Deasia is insane. She said, she's talking about Jasna. So
come on, Pastor Jameson.
Listen, I have a testimony, okay?
That's exactly what she said. Come on, Pastor Jameson. And Tierra Edge says, I'm really enjoying this. But listen, whether you're single or married.
Hey, Ty.
Yeah. Hey, Ty.
But I do
Hey,
feel like by all
Tan
means, like
Tan,
enjoy life.
Yeah.
you got to enjoy life, right? You
But
have
it's
to
always nice to
enjoy
have
life.
somebody to enjoy life with.
Yes.
The right
Because one
person.
thing about it, when I am, and I want this for all of my friends, like, you know, I really do, because when my husband and I, we go out together and it's just us, that's probably the best time for me. Like, I love my friends. I love being around them. Like, I love it. I love being around family too. But when I'm just with my husband, we can take a 10-hour road trip and be totally fine. You know, we can just live life. And that is probably my happiest moments. You know, us just doing us. Like, it's not any type of pressure, you know, when we're together alone. We can be silent in a car and still be communicating. Like, that's deep.
Oh, I can't wait to experience that.
Right, I'm telling you.
Wait,
I'm
what you don't want to experience is Jasmine and Derek together on a phone call. It's so annoying.
I've never experienced that,
Mine's
but I
not telling
have
my
taken
business.
I have taken trips with Jasmine and Derek.
Yes.
So I'm around them a lot, not too much, but I've seen, you get what I'm saying? I can say that I've seen Derek and Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen them.
We're a
Yes.
whole vibe. We're a whole vibe, honey.
They are.
They are a whole vibe, and
They are.
marriage is a vibe.
Let
But
me
I
tell
want
you,
to
Derek
say,
supports his wife so much. Like he supports his wife so much. He loves his wife, and that's amazing.
Yes.
well, let me tell you what else is amazing. When you're single and you're happy with yourself and you know how to be by yourself.
Absolutely. So me being single, I definitely have I've grown a lot as a person, and that was important to me. So throughout with dating and then having those times where I'm not dating, it it's good. It was good to me. You get what I'm saying? So being in a relationship and maybe I recognized flaws, or maybe someone pointed out flaws that I did not know that I had, and then with me being by myself, I'm able to work on those things.
Yeah.
So then I possibly can maybe get into a committed relationship, and I'm a better person for me and my relationship. So single is not bad. I think it's important.
I feel like you do grow when you're, experiencing different things and when you're dating. And it's important to date and not feel bad about dating. It's kind of like I don't know, like,
but get to know you.
straws. But
knowing
get to know you,
important.
that is super important. Super, super important. Because if you don't know yourself, how are you dating other people? Like, that's a big question.
You're really
Like,
not.
how are
You're
you even
dating
in
yourself.
marriage?
You're really
You
not.
gotta know yourself.
You're dating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't know yourself, you're dating yourself. And as a result of that, what happens is everybody gets lost.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets lost and everybody gets in trouble.
Super, super important.
And so, what I want you to know tonight is hooking up with the wrong partner will destroy you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. Knowing who you are, what you want, and where you need to be is important. And ladies, for those of us who are single, let's hear it for the single ladies. You have to know and be clear about what you want. The problem in relationships is that we send mixed messages. Stop sending mixed messages. If you want them to open the door, don't step in front of them and open the door first.
You are so right. Someone asked me recently, they asked me, what am I looking for? And I answered the question wrong. But initially, when I answered the question, what I said was, I'm looking to have fun with someone, or, just have fun. But I'm not really looking to just have fun with someone. Like, I'm looking to settle down. But at the same time, I want to make sure that we are friends first.
Because I think
that's right. I want to build my foundation, and I want us to be friends first. So I don't want to pressure you into anything. Whatever happens, happens. But I want us to be able to enjoy each other without the pressure.
Right.
Antoinette Caldwell said, shout out to single ladies. Learn who you are and what you want. Tiara said, say that again. Beverly Davis said, 100%. I'm so proud and happy for you, Liv.
Oh,
Tiara is laughing. And Deasia said, and we pray for Derek every day. Naya said, she kicked you out last
Bye,
week
Deasia.
because you started your graphic content and honey. And
Tell
so,
Nia to get off this live telling our personal business.
live, you listen, we're live. Beverly says it's the foundation for me. Well said, Jasna. Naya, you can call me when the live is over and give me all of the tea.
No, she will not.
And so,
Naya, please do not pick up the phone.
Right.
this has been a great podcast. We're just starting. I expect to have Jasna, uh, Liv, and other folks back to talk about single and married life because women need to hear that marriage is good and they need to hear in your single life there are great men out here.
Mhm.
We got to stop badgering men
Yes,
and
please.
start
Yes.
respecting them.
My bad.
Is,
If you're not going to come in the camera,
is that your husband again?
it is my husband.
We don't know
again.
who that
Sorry.
is.
No.
Let me tell you about Uncle Derek. When we go on vacation, Uncle Derek makes sure the doors are locked.
Right.
He doesn't go to bed until we all are secure.
So marriage is fun, and being in a relationship is fun, and dating
It should
is
be.
fun.
It should be.
It should be.
It should be.
Yes. We want to get back to the fun. Ladies, we want to get back to retro dating. We want to get back to when men take you out. If a man takes you out, he pays. If you take him out, you pay. It's really
And there's
just
nothing wrong with it. There's
Nothing.
nothing
there's
wrong with it.
nothing wrong with that. As long as you have an understanding about where you are and you've laid the foundation for what you want. And so Babe is in the background and we love him. He's not going to come on live. And I want to just say that Naya says I'm her favorite. And I want you guys to know that. That's important because I'm getting all the tea.
Of course you are, God, sister. Oh, Naya. I think
Naya, Naya, Naya,
Naya.
Naya Brown. Yes. And so, ladies, I
She's
like to
everybody's favorite, honey.
I'd like to thank you for coming on tonight live. I'd like to ask you to come back and finish up the conversation. And in the next conversation, we want to talk about what works and what doesn't work, what you do to make your dating work for you, what it looks like, and what you do to make your marriage look for you and what it looks like. One of the things that people are incredibly afraid of is to openly discuss that there's no perfect relationships.
Yes.
A lot of people pretend, Liv said it, but there are no perfect relationships. People struggle. And so in our next podcast, we're going to talk about the struggles and we're going to talk about what it takes to get over those struggles. So ladies, if you're going to, I need you to leave the audience with one thing you want them to remember until you come back on live again. And the next time you come on live, we're going to have some other folks join you. So, Liv, what do you want to leave the audience with tonight?
Never settle. And vulnerability. Allow yourself to be vulnerable.
Thank you. Thank you, Jasna.
That's a
What
good
do
one.
you what do you want to leave the audience with?
I will leave the audience with this. Marriage can be challenging, but it should not be hard. If you feel like you are struggling to the point where you're like, this is too hard for me, then that marriage is just not for you. And it's okay to get out.
When you find you're in the wrong story,
Yeah.
leave.
Leave. You don't have to
Leave.
hold on. And I don't want to make it seem like you don't need to fight for your marriage because you do.
You should.
And that's what you signed up for. Fight for that marriage. fight for that, that love, that foundation that you
Yes.
already built. And that is what I will leave you with.
Thank you. And tonight I want to leave you with this. Choosing the right partner makes a difference. Before you can do that, you have to know what the right partner looks like. We're coming back live and we're going to talk about that. Ladies, I'd like to thank you for joining us. And I'd like to wish our audience, and you can quote me on this, a good night. Thank
Thanks
you.
for joining.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Just a second. I'll let you know when we're off. You're still on the camera. You're still live. Be careful.
Tanya said, this was cute. Good night.
Hey, Tanya.
Hey, Tan girl.
Tan says, ciao. We're going to have to get Tanny on the podcast.
Ciao.
Yes.
We're going to
Ciao
have
has
to get
become
her
a
on
part
the
of my
podcast.
vocabulary.
Yes, child. You got to start that off. Child. Listen.
Yes. Okay, ladies. Good night. You can
Good
log
night.
in.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is cute.
She said, no, ma'am.
Who's in?
Really said, no, ma'am. You're still live.
Hey, Sora Internet. I know that's right. Be who you are.
That's important.
So
I feel like a lot of times people don't do that. And if the relationship is not working, get out.
Get out.
Don't hurt each other. Just get out. It's okay. Sometimes things don't work out. That's fine.